Something that I always heard growing up that has a lot of truth. I thought they were being sarcastic when they said it. Don't work too hard. I was on the internet. I watched this TikTok where they were saying like a guy worked 140 hours a week and still got fired. And I viewed that as a hyperbole because I don't think the person was working 140 hours a week. I honestly think that's impossible because you have to work 20 hours a day. And in most states, they do legally have to give you a day off. But there's been many cases of that where people work more than 40 hours, excessive hours for a company because they either think it's going to go somewhere or, they want to make that extra money, but the overtime accumulates and the company either tells them, hey, you only work 40 hours and then we got to cap you off, or they just straight up cut them because they want to go down on labor costs. Because, look, I am not against working hard. I'm not against having a job. All I'm saying is you got to understand that you are a number to this company and that's your role. You may get a promotion. You may get recognized by the higher ups. But other than that, there's not a whole lot you can do than just your job. And you know what? That's okay, because then don't work too hard. Because also you're more likely to get promoted, in my opinion, from my personal experience, if you don't work too hard. Because when someone goes into a company and typically tries to outshine and outwork everybody and be the guy that shines on day one, other employees see that. It's a good way to make enemies and just also have a lot of slackers put their work on the hardworking employees and run them down. So that way, when the employee gets exhausted, they look bad. And then the employee that isn't working as hard looks good. And sometimes that excessive pleasing can be looked at as like a pandering or a weakness from the higher ups. So what they are going to do is they probably are going to pick someone who's, has a little bit more principle or self-respect, because they might make better deals for a company if that's what the higher position entails. So it just seems like when you factor into office politics, the person that works hardest doesn't always get rewarded the most. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try, doesn't mean you shouldn't be of value when you are, but once you hit that 8 hours a day, I usually just clock out. I rarely ask for overtime in my company because I don't want to be that guy. And well, yeah, you know what? It's like once I get that 8 hours a day, I got other things I got to do. And I will treat the company I work for with all due most respect, because I like my boss, like my current boss. I like working for the guy. He's fair to me. He doesn't ask too much. I do my job. I don't talk too much, and we're all happy. But I'm building my own stuff outside of there. And, obviously even there, when you are working on your own stuff, don't work too hard, because then you spread yourself thin, you stress yourself out, and the more stressed you are, the products you come out with aren't as efficient. I realize spiritually you got to be right to come out with quality stuff. So like I'm saying, like mental health is everything, and you have so many reasons to work hard enough, but not too hard. And you have every reason to say, okay, I could work too hard, spread myself thin, and completely crash out. And especially if the company decides to let me go, that's a devastating blow of itself. But also another monicum of the phrase, don't work too hard, right? Like another point to that comes from another saying. You're replaceable at work, but you're not replaceable to your family or friends. Right? The people who actually know you and who you value and you have good relationships with, make time to enjoy your life with those people. It's not all just about work at your job and then work on your hustles and just work. But, there are people in this world that I believe, honestly, for a lot of people, genuinely care about you. And quality time with the people I care about is really second to none, like the best thing ever, especially when I have worked hard on my hustles and at my day job, and I can provide them something of value. And also making time for the things I actually do really enjoy and get like real heart and soul fulfillment out of when it comes to life. Like when I play the guitar, or when I'm jamming out, or I'm composing a song on a piano or something like that, right? Like doing things that I really am passionate about, because work and passion are two completely different things. But, don't get so hung up on making a living that we all forget to live. But yeah, when I was a kid, I used to hear that, don't work too hard. And I always thought the adults were like, oh, they're just saying, no, that we're being sarcastic, work as hard as you can. But the more you realize and see that sentence from different angles, right, the more I definitely see that, yeah, no, don't work too hard. Because there's more to life than just working and making money. But as important as it is, it is important. But that's what I got to say. Peace out. Cheers. And yeah, don't work too hard. Make some quality time for your life.